Today I'm showing you guys of basically everything that I use with London's diabetes. He has type 1 diabetes. If you guys didn't see my backstory video, May 21st, my 16-month-old, now 17-month-old son got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. How we found out, basically he went into ketoacidosis for a while, and it was until basically he was having trouble breathing and stuff and lethargic that we found out that he had type 1 diabetes. So going forward, these last few weeks, it's almost been a month, have been kind of a roller coaster of not only like with emotions, a lot of change is going on. Not only did David and I, London's father, change our lifestyle as far as, you know, counting carbs and cutting out like the useless, you know, bread and pasta, high carb foods and stuff. We've started cutting that out just because there's no point, you know, if it's not good for my son, why should we be doing that to ourselves? So like I said, it's been kind of a roller coaster with everything. I can't really say it's gotten easier. I guess I've gotten used to a little bit, but every day is a different struggle, especially since he's only 17 months old. He doesn't even have molars, and of course he can't talk and communicate and tell me when he's low or not and stuff. So I really want to talk about like the items I use, and you know, if you have a toddler as well that has type 1 diabetes, that has experienced this before, go ahead and comment down below or message me please, because I would love to hear your advice. If you're completely new like me, I would love for you to join me in this ride. I just hope one day that they find a cure for this disease, you know, and it's heartbreaking. My heart goes out to you, and as a mother, I would never want anything to happen to my baby, and I can't even imagine how you must feel in this situation as well. So let's move forward. So in my previous video as well, I said that we had an appointment, so we did go to the appointment a week and a half ago, and everything went good. We went over his, you know, his ratio, his adjustments, his calculation for insulin. So right now his ratio for Humalog, his insulin, and this is the insulin right here, Humalog, his ratio is, so for every 30 carbs he gets 1 unit of insulin, and these are the syringes that we use. It's really tiny. The needle is really tiny, if you can see that. I prefer the smallest needle, and this is it. If you're wondering which needles we use, these are it, and I highly recommend these, although I hate injecting my son, and it's kind of hard. It's really hard, especially when he fights it and he cries and rubs his arm or his leg and stuff, and you know, that breaks my heart. But his ratio is 30-1, and his correction factor is 250. So if his blood sugar is above 250, we want to go ahead and correct it. Just kidding. His correction factor is 250, and his target is 200. So anything that's above 200, you want to go ahead and correct, but we don't correct if we already dosed him within the 3 hours. So we have to wait at least 3 hours to correct him, unless that he eats, and it's been 3 hours, he eats and he still has high blood sugar. So that's when we kind of also correct him as well. I try making it every meal. Sometimes it's from 1 to twice a day, sometimes it's more depending on how high he is, but that's what I do I know it sounds kind of confusing, but I'm still learning along the way. And now, like I mentioned in the last video, he also takes Lantus. That's a long-acting insulin, and basically it just works really slow, and it keeps you stabilized. So what we were doing was giving him the the Lantus right before bed. And it not right before bed, but it was at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And Lennon's normal bedtime is 7, but he hasn't been going to sleep like at 7. He's been going to sleep like at 9 because the whole schedule changed. But anyways, we used to give it to him at 6 o'clock, but we were noticing that at night he would dip too low. One night he was 43, another night he was like 64. It's really scary just because we always have to check on him. And it's kind of heartbreaking because we have to wake him up, we have to give him some sugar, you know, like apple juice or something, and it's stressful and it just breaks my heart. But we decided, you know, to speak about it, and we reached out to our endocrinologist office and the diabetic counselor, the dietitian, the nurse that helps us all the time, that is incredible. She adjusted it, so we switched to half a unit, and we were still noticing that it wasn't working. Like he was still high, like the half unit was doing nothing throughout the night. So I messaged her and I was like, hey, can we go ahead and move it to the morning? And she said yes, do a half unit at 6, and then in the morning do another half unit and see where that goes. So we switched it to the morning. And I was noticing he was still high throughout the day, and this is normal, like he's high no matter what. But I asked her again, like, hey, this weekend I noticed that he was still high throughout the day. Can we move from half a unit to 1 unit of Lantus and see where that gets us? And she said, yeah, you know, try it out and stuff. And so far it's been working. The 1 unit of Lantus, I give it to him every morning at 9 a.m. And then, because he usually sleeps in as well, thank God. But it's been working. The only thing is, I believe his ratio just needs to be corrected a little bit. Maybe a little bit higher or lower, I'm not sure. But yeah, another thing is we use blood glucose reader, and the one that we used is the One Touch Vario IQ. It's this one, and then of course we have the test strips right here, and then this has a needle in it, and then let me go ahead and turn it on. It's turning on. So right here you see the main menu. I'll just show you an example. The last time we checked with this one, the blood one, was at before he ate his lunch, and it was 262. And I did not correct him just because I gave him insulin 2 hours before, and I can't give him the correction dose if it's less than 3 hours. So yeah, and it says before meal, as you see. So this glucose monitor and stuff has been working great. I haven't had any issues. I always carry this in my purse, little diaper bag, and I always carry extra needles and then alcohol pads. And also we are using the Freestyle Libra, you see here. Now this is a continuous glucose meter, whatever, that Lennon has on his arm. We place it on, I believe he has it on his right arm this time. And I'll show you in a video how we install it. It's technically pain-free. I think that he's just tired of getting touched, if that makes sense. He has needles in him all day, every day, and I feel so bad for my little son. So it's been kind of an intense journey. So yeah, so this is the freestyle, and there's a continuous glucose, and it's a little bit different. So we did pay out of pocket just because our insurance doesn't pay shit. With the RX card, whatever, Good RX, we saved about half, so we only paid like $120 for a month's supply. And in 2 days, as you see, if this will focus, in 2 days we have to exchange the little meter that goes in the back of his arm, and it takes 12 hours to start the meter again. So that's always kind of like a challenge because we won't be able to use it for a full 12 hours, but it's okay because we have the other glucose monitor. So as you see, it says to hover it, you know, and that's how I try not waking him up at night, and I check him. Now this is only like a glucose reader, but it doesn't go into the, like, doesn't read your blood, it reads the fluid in your skin, so it's not always as accurate and as fast as the blood one. So that's my only dilemma, but it does the job, you know. I can't really complain, especially if I want to avoid always checking him like every hour. But let me show you his logbook. So it is right now 1:48, and the last time I checked him was at 12:51, and he's napping right now. That's the only reason why I'm making this video. He was 202, so this is kind of exactly where we want him to be. At 12:30, that's when I set him down in bed, it was 242, and then at 11:11 it was 284. But it says, as you see, to check blood, basically, and that's what I did, and that's how I found like the accurate reading before he ate lunch again. But as you see, he's all over the place. That's kind of stressful, but slowly but surely we will get to a good place for him. You know, it's kind of hard since he's so little, you know, but for example, this is his little chart. I highly recommend, if you have a small one at home that has type 1 diabetes, I highly recommend getting the Freestyle Libre. It won't break your bank. Yeah, you spend a pretty amount of money, but it's not as expensive as the Dexcom. We're still trying to fight to get the Dexcom approval with our insurance and stuff. But also, we did purchase expired Dexcom sensors and stuff. We're still waiting for that in the mail. We did have to pay a good penny just because we've, well, this month and last month we've spent a lot of our money, and I'm so glad that I've been saving money because of these situations. And I'm sorry that I'm all over the place. It's just I really wanted to make this video because there's no other videos out there, and it's overwhelming, and my husband and I check every single night to see if we could find similar cases, our most recent and stuff. A few families that the one that I can remember is the Dale tribe, but the little girl was a little bit older, so you know, it's kind of hard to relate. But we did find out about like the Omnipod and stuff like that. We're still fighting for the coverage of the Omnipod, so hopefully that goes through. Please pray for like my son and his insurance covering everything, because I'm just so tired of like feeling guilty and like stabbing him every single freaking day, all day, every day. You know, I want him to feel as normal as possible, and I would love to have the Dexcom just because that would give me a peace of mind and alert me at night when he's low, because the Freestyle Libre does not do that. It does not go straight to your phone, it does not alert you or anything like that, so it's kind of a rough battle with that. But another thing that I want to go through, so with the Freestyle Libre sensor, when we install it to our son's arm, we use the Nexcare Tegaderm, and my sister recommended this because she used it for her tattoos, and she got us a box, and these work great. They're pretty big. Let me show you. They're pretty big, especially for a little toddler arm, and it does its job. It lasts over a week, you know, if you install it right. They say you're not supposed to cover the sensor, but we haven't seen any difference. The reason why we decided to put the Tegaderm was because after the second bath alone with the Freestyle Libra, we felt like the sticker, like the stickiness, like the attachment wasn't sticking right. So we were scared that the Libra was gonna fall off. So that's why we put that clear bandage on it that's waterproof, and it's pretty cool. It's like waterproof, it's good with the pool and everything, with the bath, and it's pretty cool. So yeah, I highly recommend. Okay, so when we go out, we usually carry this bag. It's a bottle thing, so it keeps it cool and stuff, and we stick a freezer pack in here, and this is where we keep like his cheese sticks or freebies, you know, we keep like food pouches and stuff, so we know we have snacks for him, because we try not just giving him like super regular food when we're out, because we don't know exactly what the carbs are. But yeah, so I highly recommend, if you have a small child and stuff, just keep using the things that you have. There's no need to, because I was thinking like I should just get a whole new diaper bag that's bigger, that has a lot of space and stuff, and you just gotta work with what you have if you don't have a shit ton of money like me. But another thing is, we found this at Walmart, and this carries your diabetic stuff. So as you see, we carry like an extra syringe, we carry a roll, 2 rolls of Smarties. As you see, it's for refrigerated. We put the cooler pack right here, and we put the insulin in here too, and it's padded, so don't think it's gonna break. Another thing is, you could stick, like if you have the insulin pen, which I will show you in a minute. We do have it, but I just don't like it because it's not, I don't know if because it's a sample that the doctor gave us, it just doesn't come out right. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's not like the cutest thing, but it works. It's insulated. It does its job. Another thing is, so as I mentioned earlier, my husband and I have been kind of switching up our diets. So we kind of follow the ketogenic diet. We eat low carbs. We try. Don't get me wrong, you know, we still sometimes eat Raising Cane's or something. But as far as watching what we eat, we do watch now. I cook separate meals for Lennon, and I will make a whole nother separate video about recipes and everything, and you know, counting carbs, because I really want to cover that for you guys, especially for your little ones, because my biggest challenge right now is getting my little one to eat the things that he should be eating, versus just, I guess it's fine that he eats yogurt and stuff, but he's such a picky eater. He doesn't like meat. He loves cheese, which is great. It's a freebie, you know. He loves tortillas and stuff. I will cover everything in my next video if you guys are interested, just because I have found amazing recipes and low carb juices and stuff like that, and I really want you guys to see it, so stay tuned for that. I just want to show you one last thing, is that basically I just want to show you guys one last thing, because this is what is keeping me sane with the counting and everything like that, just general talk. I use the book Calorie King, and yes, there's an app, but you know, I'm not like tech savvy and stuff like that. I find this very easy because it's straightforward, you know. It shows you, like for example, I always check out like the fruits and vegetables, and let me show you. So for example, there's like banana, and I do use a scale. I'm talking about like a $20 scale from Walmart, okay? It's not even like that expensive. You don't need like a spiffy one, because the more you use it, you start like memorizing things, you know, and if you forget, just write them down. Like over here, I just use my notebook, and if I need to flip through, you know, the next thing I would do is like buy like the little tabs to kind of shorten like me looking for the items. But overall, this book has been saving me every single day, and I'm so thankful for it. And a lot of people use MyFitnessPal and stuff like that, but this book is great. And if you're trying to deal with like measurements and stuff like that, just use Google, you know, like the teaspoons and tablespoons and cups and like the ounces, and just Google it, because there's other diabetics out there that did the job for you. So thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate it. But yeah, this concludes my video. These are the items I use for Lennon. Like I said, I will make a more in-depth video of how I count carbs for him, and basically meal planning, anything to do with food, juice, you know, anything that goes in his mouth. So yeah, until next time, bye guys.